Hello everybody, Sheriff Labrador and Dobie here.
Yeah. Hello everyone. As you may have guessed, today we are escaping from Mr. Smiley's daycare. Let's get started.
It's hard not to notice all these neon arrows leading to the ventilation. By the way, didn't you find it strange that he was just standing there staring at us?
I think all these facts point to Mr. Smiley conducting experiments on us, or he's playing with us like we're lab rats.
You must be right, and he's just crazy. I think he'll be watching us through surveillance cameras throughout all the trials. Brr!
I agree, it's creepy, but we're sheriffs. We won't be scared by that.
Meanwhile, we're parkouring over pipes in the sewers. Did we fall into a manhole?
I don't remember that either. I think we entered through the ventilation, not a manhole. Everything in this daycare is so strange.
Well, it doesn't matter. The important thing is that I'm the best parkourist in our town, and we'll get through this challenge quickly.
Let's think about how we got here. We're not kids, after all.
It seems like there are two possibilities here. Either he's grabbing everyone and tossing them in a cell regardless of age, or he's a bit blind and didn't notice we're not kids.
It seems to me like he knew we were sheriffs and wanted to see if professionals could pass all his challenges.
That's also a great theory, but we still have to figure all of this out.
Oh, look, there's a big fan on the floor here. It blows so hard that we're being lifted up.
But we need to be careful and watch out for the laser to protect our heads.
Great job. We've reached the next obstacle. I see a grill ahead. It looks like we need to press these buttons to open it.
I hope we don't have to press them simultaneously.
Let's check it now. We just need to jump over this rotating platform.
We've been walking through this sewer for a long time. I have a question. Why is it so gigantic, and where does all this acidic water come from?
Great. There's just one button left. I don't understand why they made such a huge sewer, but I think the acid is what powers all these mechanisms and engines in these trials.
I remembered an interesting story about how we saved our city from an acid flood, but I'll tell it in a couple of minutes. So watch the video to the end, guys.
Great, the gates are open. Let's go.
Hold on, we need to pass one more rotating platform.
I know we can do it. This was a very simple challenge.
I'm still bothered by the fact that the sewer is connected to the ventilation. The whole daycare must smell awful.
It seems like it's depicted here that children love us and pull us towards the ground. What could this mean? And who leaves these drawings?
Wow, look, he's right in front of us. Why isn't he paying attention to us? I don't think he can't hear us.
I think he's deliberately ignoring us to attack when we least expect it.
Oh, you were right, but now we need to make a run for it.
He's very close. Ow! Oh no, what's happening? Where is he taking us?
If I'm honest, I didn't understand his intentions. Maybe he wanted to take us back to the cell but accidentally swallowed us.
It seems to me that those crawling kids distracted us. We need to check on this right now.
It looks like both Mr. Smiley and the kids are interested in us. They seem to be in it together. Perhaps he feeds them a special blend.
Great, it seems like we've confused him a bit and he's stuck. It's a good moment to make our escape.
It seems we need to jump into this hole. Goodbye, Mr. Smiley.
Hey, just don't crash on the way down.
Nice job, Dobie. We landed next to the ball pit. Let's keep going.
I already have an idea of what we need to do in this challenge. One pipe should be enough for us.
While we're going through this challenge, let's tell the guys the promised story.
With pleasure, I will tell this story. This day started off as usual, but soon we began receiving alarming reports from the townspeople. Water coming out of their taps was unusual, starting to acidify and even change color. Labrador and I were immediately dispatched to investigate this strange situation.
Arriving on scene, we inspected several homes and saw that the situation was indeed serious. Water flowing from the taps was not only acidic, but also of various colors, from green to purple. This immediately put us on alert because such a thing couldn't be a coincidence.
We began our investigation and soon discovered that the problem stemmed from an error by one of the sewer workers who had mistakenly connected the pipes beneath the laboratory. Waste from the lab, containing acidic substances, had started to flow into the city's water systems.
We realized that if we didn't stop this flow of acid, the city could be in danger. We urgently called in specialists to help us regain control of the situation and prevent further contamination of the water.
Through our combined efforts with our team, we set up temporary barriers and started pumping out the contaminated water from the system. While engineers worked to fix the errors, we ensured the safety of residents and coordinated the evacuation of those in particularly hazardous areas.
Wow, look, while we were telling the story, we reached the boss battle. The sign said we need to knock Mr. Smiley down. But how do we do that?
Let's get this sorted out. I noticed there are small children on his platform. I'm sure they'll be in our way.
Let's observe what he's going to do.
I think it's better to run before he jumps on us.
Oh, let's retreat.
2. We need to be more careful. Just like the sewer worker under the laboratory from our story.
I agree. He should have been more careful when he was fixing the pipes. But the main thing is that everything turned out fine, and this incident showed us how important it is to be vigilant and prepared to help, regardless of the job.
Oh no! Did you see how that kid sneakily grabbed our legs and wouldn't let go? Where does he get all that strength from? And he pulled us down too. But now we know we need to steer clear of those kids.
I got it. We need to lure him and wait until he starts attacking, then step aside at the right moment so he falls into the lava.
Ha ha ha! Why do these kids fly so amusingly into the stratosphere?
Why is he so close to the edge but not falling? Maybe we need to wait a bit longer or step back a bit later.
Try to step back as quickly as possible so he doesn't have time to react.
And also, we need to stand closer to the edge of this platform.
Oh no! One kid did manage to grab onto us after all. How did that happen? There were so few of them left here.
Yay! We dodged it! That's what you get, Mr. Smiley. I hope we don't encounter him again, and he won't hinder our escape from here.
Let's continue our escape. The main thing is not to fall now. That would be really frustrating, especially if we had to start the battle all over again.
Looks like we need to take the elevator. There are so many floors. It seems like this isn't a daycare, but an entire complex.
Wow! Just look at how enormous these rooms are. I can't believe all this was made by Mr. Smiley just to amuse himself by watching us go through these trials and fall into traps.
Oops. Yeah, this is all very strange and mystical. I wish the author had added some notes so we could better understand the plot. Damn. Here we go again with these rotating platforms, and there are 10 times more of them.
And I also see a bunch of swinging maces ahead. There must be 10 times more of them than in one of the previous trials. Why are we being tortured now if we defeated Mr. Smiley and there's no one left to watch us? Or maybe those little crawling kids are actually adult souls trapped in children's bodies. Brr.
And it's like the kids actually organized all of this, and Mr. Smiley was just a tool in their hands. That's truly creepy, Dobie, but I think we're overthinking it. This daycare couldn't have such a well-thought-out and captivating plot. We should save this idea and create a game like this. Guys, would you play a game created by Sheriff Labrador and Dobie?
Hey, that sounds like a great idea. Now we just need to learn how to create games. Speaking of games, since we're on the topic, let's tell the guys the story about how we saved our residents' computers from a massive virus outbreak.
Of course. Don't worry, there won't be any viruses in our game. It just happens to be a coincidence. This day seemed ordinary until we started receiving anxious calls from the town residents. Everyone was talking about strange updates on their computers that couldn't be postponed. Immediately after installing the updates, their screens were flooded with pop-ups, and some computers demanded ransom to unlock. Someone was so scared that they even threw their computer in the trash. Dobie and I realized this was serious and required immediate action.
Our first step was to determine the source of the problem. We found out that the operating system update came from one of the largest software companies. We went there to conduct our investigation.
At the company, we discovered that none of the employees were aware of what was happening. However, after carefully examining the security logs, we found out that a new employee had recently joined the company. This employee had been planning their sinister plan for years, writing the virus in advance and figuring out how to embed it into the update. He wrote it down on a flash drive and once he was hired, put his plan into action.
Realizing the need for swift action, we turned to the city's best programmers. Together, we started working on removing the virus and restoring the systems. We had to immerse ourselves in cybersecurity to understand how to combat this evil.
The process was complex and demanding. We had to develop special programs to remove the virus and recover data on infected computers. Programmers worked day and night, while we ensured coordination and support.
Thanks to our combined efforts and perseverance, we managed to create a program that eliminated the virus and restored the systems of the town's residents. We spread it through local media and social networks so everyone could download and install this fix.
Hooray! Dobie, we've escaped from that daycare. That means it's time for us to say goodbye. Thanks everyone for watching. Leave a like and be sure to tell us what else we should play. Maybe Poppy Playtime?
See you later.
Well, boys and girls, are you ready? Hello, everyone. Today we will find out which gender is better. Just to clarify, I am not talking about the floor we stand on, but about boys and girls.
Hello, subscribers. Labrador, your jokes are not funny, but don't worry. Today there will be a lot of cool jokes from me. So, who is actually better? Boys or girls? We will find out today.
Dobie, what do you think? Personally, I think girls are stronger than boys, but I have an idea to check who is better. Dobie, do you know how to check this?
Yes, Labrador, I understand what you mean. But wait a moment. We are doing a parkour challenge through the ventilation system. It's very cold in this room, like a freezer where ice cream is stored. So guys, now you will participate in a very important survey, and we will finally understand who is better.
All the girls, I love and respect you very much, so right now subscribe to the channel and hit the like button. Through the statistics, we will find out who there are more of and who won our competition.
So, Labrador, do you think your girls will win? All the boys, urgently subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. I am sure there are more boys. Boys, I personally hope for your victory, and I hope you will win.
Dobie, this is the fairest contest, and through the statistics, we will find out who is better. Everything is completely fair, but everyone needs to participate. By the way, Dobie, did you notice what mode we are playing? It's called Boys versus Girls. A cool name.
As I understand it, in this mode, there are also statistics that show who completes it faster. I'm participating, and I will play for the boys, and you for the girls.
Ha 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 ha. It's so funny how we're fooling this guard. Let's zap them with the taser. Ha ha ha. The guard is a girl and she fell down. It's hilarious. Girls, don't be offended. It just looks really funny.
Yes, Labrador, but you probably forgot about our race. I'm leading for now, so I suggest you start moving to catch up with me.
I'm already going through the ventilation, or rather, I've already passed it. We have a bathroom here, which leads us to hell. It's called that because we fall right into the center of the earth where there's lava. And some Bob the Builder built a parkour course there.
One mistake there could cost us our lives, so it's important to pass this parkour very carefully. Don't worry, guys. I'll get through this part very quickly. I have special donated items in my inventory.
Hey, Dobie. Now that doesn't sound fair. I'm gonna use them for the win too. I will do anything to win. Although my coach, the sheriff, said that the important thing is not the victory, but the participation, I don't believe him. I really love winning.
All right, I've passed the parkour, and I see you have too, Labrador. Next, there's a big ball that wants to crush us. It's such a shame that we have to spend a lot of time waiting for it to roll by. This is the longest challenge.
Yes, Dobie, we will have to wait a long time. Subscribers. Dobie can't hear me right now, but I came up with a way to get through this quickly using a jetpack. By the way, I've always wondered where that big ball comes from.
Labrador, where are you? I can't see you at all. I hope you didn't get past this part using some secret paths. After all, we are having an honest competition. Subscribers, I hope you're watching closely because you are our judges today.
I'm not cheating. I'm using the items you allowed me to use. Specifically the donor items. By the way, that energy drink was so delicious. Now my character is super fast, just like Flash. Dobie, where are you? I've already passed the key guard in that long staircase. Ahead of me is the most difficult and fastest parkour. Dobie, look at that challenging parkour ahead. But I'm sure the girls would get through it faster.
Oh, Labrador, don't make me laugh. Boys always do better. I'll prove it to you right now. Let's go.
Well, we'll see, Dobie. Girls are always more attentive and careful. They would have already jumped onto these platforms without any problems.
No way. Boys are more decisive and faster. Look, I'm already halfway through. Haha, where are you?
You're just rushing, Dobie. Girls would have already taken a break at this stage and had a sandwich. They know how to enjoy the moment.
A sandwich, you say? Well, if boys stop, it's only to eat pizza. But I'm still faster. Oops, almost fell.
Haha, be careful, champ. Girls would have already run this parkour on the first try. They are more enduring.
Don't forget, Labrador, boys always find new ways and solutions. For example, this jump can be made with a running start.
Wow, not bad, Dobie. But girls would find the safest path. They think about the consequences.
Maybe, Labrador, but boys aren't afraid to take risks. Look how I jump over this chasm. Yoo-hoo!
I drank some cocktail and now I'm like Supergirl, running very fast and jumping very high. But you might ask why I'm saying Supergirl and not Superman? Dobie, let's tell them something.
Guys, by the way, we've already debated who is better while sitting in our favorite cafe. Labrador and I started this argument. It all began with a simple conversation about who is better, boys or girls. I argued that boys are, of course, better.
And I naturally sided with the girls. We had so many arguments that the debate could have gone on forever. But then I remembered an amazing story that I thought could help us resolve this dispute.
Ah, yes, the story about those superheroes who once came to save our city. That was an incredible day. Just when everything seemed lost, two shining figures appeared in the sky, Superman and Supergirl.
Exactly. I remember how Superman was the first to rush to help, rescuing people from burning buildings and preventing collapses. His strength and speed were simply amazing. Every action he took was an example of bravery and courage.
Yes, Superman was impressive. But don't forget about Supergirl. She was just as remarkable. Remember how deftly she dealt with the destruction and saved people trapped under rubble? Her ability to work in a team and find quick solutions in critical situations was invaluable.
I agree, Supergirl was incredible. She inspired with her determination and compassion. That day, they both showed that heroism has no gender. Their joint efforts saved our city from destruction.
Exactly. Looking at them, we realized that each of them was important and irreplaceable. Superman and Supergirl worked together, complementing each other. They showed us that what matters is not who you are, boy or girl, but what you do and how you help others.
That incident taught us that in life, the main thing is actions and deeds, not gender. Both boys and girls can be true heroes.
So, Labrador, our argument is meaningless. We are both right. The main thing is to be kind, strong, and ready to help when needed. Although, let's remember more stories and maybe we'll find out who is better. And you guys, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment.
Dobie, remember that day when our city fell into the hands of a mad scientist and his scientist companion?
Of course, Labrador. That day was a real trial for us. It all started with strange occurrences throughout the city. People began reporting mystical phenomena, disappearing objects, mysterious sounds at night, even dreams that seemed like reality.
Exactly, Dobie. The city's residents were frightened and confused, and only we, Sheriffs Dobie and Labrador, became this city's last hope.
We started investigating and soon discovered that two mad scientists were behind it all. A man known as Dr. Diablo and his accomplice, Dr. Malevolent, were competing to create the perfect prank that could scare everyone to shivers.
Dr. Diablo was a specialist in chemicals and gases. He developed a concoction that made things disappear before people's eyes or transform into something unexpected. Dr. Diablo was a specialist in chemicals and gases. He developed a concoction that made things disappear before people's eyes or transform into something unexpected.
And Dr. Malevolent was a brilliant mechanic. She created devices that emitted eerie sounds and projected ghosts.
Our first encounter with them was full of dangers. They activated their terrifying inventions and began terrorizing the city.
We realized we needed to act fast. We tracked them to their secret hideout, an abandoned warehouse on the outskirts of the city. There, they found the perfect place for their experiments.
Exactly! Our investigation led us to discover a secret laboratory complex in the heart of the city. There we found two mad scientists, a man and a woman, who were competing to create horrifying experiments.
The man, resembling a mad professor with a long white beard, focused on creating creatures from myths and legends. He even managed to revive several ancient monsters that chase people through the streets.
And the female scientist was a master of psychological experiments. She used ultrasonic signals to provoke alarm and paranoia among the city's residents. People began seeing and hearing strange things, driving them mad with fear.
We infiltrated their lair and a real battle ensued. Dr. Diablo and Dr. Malevolent tried to scare us with their inventions, but we didn't give in. With our experience and resourcefulness, we managed to defeat them.
That's how we saved our city from evil intentions and restored peace to the people. May heroes always be ready to protect their citizens.
Labrador, essentially, we've completed this level. You defeated both bosses very quickly. The first boss was a chef who couldn't handle your lasers and burst because he or she had a very large belly. I still couldn't figure out if it was a man or a woman.
Yeah, Dobie, the second boss, the Titan, also couldn't withstand my laser and shattered into pieces. I didn't even have to use the bazooka to defeat him. Have you seen how high I can jump now and how fast I've become? I've become a real Superman.
Friendship prevailed, guys. See you soon.
What? Where are we, Dobie?
I don't know, but it looks a lot like a children's room with toys everywhere.
Wait a minute, it can't be. This looks like the Evil Doll's room. Hello, everyone! Today, Dobie and I are going to escape from the Evil Doll's house. What will we encounter?
And what awaits us will be a multitude of amazing and mysterious challenges. Our goal is not only to escape, but also to defeat the Evil Doll herself.
Just look at this room. It even has a special atmosphere that makes you start to feel like a child again.
I completely agree with you, Labrador. Today we will also plunge into childhood and explore the house of this doll.
So, it looks like we need to go through this small passage. The arrows lead to the house. Hopefully, the battle with the doll won't start too soon.
We picked up some candy. I wouldn't try it. She might have poisoned it. We need to find 10 of these candies.
It seems like we need to jump here. Let's postpone it for a bit and explore this house. Maybe we'll find something useful here.
Great. It wasn't in vain that we looked around. We found another candy.
Hooray! Checkpoint so we can die.
How much she loves herself, hanging her own portraits. I think you took your phrase too seriously. There was no need to die for a check.
I accidentally thought it was okay to walk there.
Ahead is another hole. Where are we descending to? It's like we're not far from hell.
Doesn't look like hell. It's a mountain of dishes here.
Listen, for me, a mountain of dishes is hell. I hate washing them.
And I'm the opposite. I enjoy it. I turn on my favorite playlist and sing along. It really lifts my spirits.
It's very strange. It seems like this place hasn't been cleaned in years. Maybe instead of washing dishes, she just buys new ones?
Yeah, that seems to be the case. I can't think of any other explanation for this mess.
It feels like we still have forever to go. I don't see the end in the distance. These arrows do have a mesmerizing effect, almost as if they're intentionally arranged to create an illusion or induce hallucinations.
Did you notice that in this room the floor is lava? But I see roses in this lava. It seems like these are hallucinations.
I see them too. Great, we've reached another checkpoint.
It seems like there's finally an end. Phew, I hope the next location won't involve parkour. I'm a bit tired already.
Some creepy toys, perhaps a demon has possessed them, or the souls of children are trapped inside them. Brr! Scary. By the way, did you know that in Poppy Playtime, the toys aren't actually bloody, but it's a mixture of red Poppy? I recently studied the storyline of this game. It's very interesting.
No, I didn't know. I'll definitely check it out in my free time, but just look at how we were fooled. It turns out we didn't see the real end, but now we can see the house in the distance. It seems like we should head there.
Let's hurry up then. I can even see a Ferris wheel. It's a very interesting location. I'd like the amusement park to be close to our police station.
Hey, Dobie, have you ever thought about candies?
Of course, Lab. Who doesn't love sweets?
True that. But do you have a favorite candy?
Well, I think my choice is chocolate candies with nuts. What about you?
I prefer caramel candies. They're like a sweet sound in the middle of the workday.
Agreed. Sometimes caramel can be a real lifesaver. But you know what's even better than candies?
I don't think anything can be better than candies. Well, maybe even more candies.
Yeah, exactly. I'm on the same page with you. Candies are just incredibly delicious.
You just look at her. Why is she sitting there staring at us and didn't even say hello?
It seems to me she pretended to be an inanimate doll, but was actually watching us.
Then it's even scarier. Maybe we need to walk around here and find a way to open the gates.
Here it is, the button. Looks like we need to press 3 of these.
It says you can hide here. Looks like we're about to face some dangerous challenge.
Let's go.
And here she is, descending on her long braids. How does she see anything with those eyes?
Oops, let's hide quickly. I want to watch her from a safe place.
Let's climb higher. Maybe she won't notice us that way.
Did you see that? Her braids just flickered past the room. I'd hold my breath.
We mustn't forget our current task, namely to press 2 more buttons.
It's good that we took a look around. It's never unnecessary. Actually, I see quite a few rooms here where we can hide, so this challenge will be very easy for us, especially considering that we have experience as sheriffs.
I constantly hear her whispering. It's very unsettling.
Oh no, she's behind us. We need to hurry and press this button and hide. Let's lighten the mood and ease the tension by telling the folks a couple of interesting stories.
Okay, let me get started. It was a regular morning in our quiet town. Sheriff Dobie and I decided to relax a bit and headed to our favorite corner cafe to enjoy some delicious donuts and good conversation. Just as we were starting to savor the aroma of fresh donuts, our tranquility was suddenly disrupted. We received a call from the evil ice cream vendor who allegedly hypnotized children with his ice cream and demanded ransom. Without hesitation, we abandoned the donuts and rushed to the scene. The situation was serious, and we needed to act quickly. Upon arrival at the ice cream stand, we found a group of children with blank, trance-like stares, as if they were indeed under hypnosis. We realized that the ice cream contained some strange component that affected the children's minds. Without wasting any time, we devised a plan. I distracted the ice cream vendor by asking him questions about his ice cream, while Dobie searched for and destroyed the source of the hypnotic influence. Thanks to our coordinated efforts, we were able to expose the villain and free all the children from his control. We apprehended the ice cream vendor and handed him over to the police.
Great story, Labrador. In the meantime, we've passed the first mini-challenge and are tackling the parkour again. Let me continue our tales. Waking up to the unexpected sounds of fireworks, I immediately sensed that something was amiss. After all, it was still early in the morning, and such loud noises didn't fit the usual order of things in our town. Getting out of bed, I realized that I needed to check what was going on. Stepping outside, my nose caught something strange. The smell of smoke and fire. Sheriff Labrador, my faithful partner, was already waiting for me outside my house, and his expression said it all. Something serious had happened. Following our instincts, we decided to investigate the area where we heard the fireworks. Soon enough, we found the source of the smoke. A warehouse storing goods for our town was on fire. We quickly approached the scene and began unraveling the puzzle. The traces left at the crime scene told us that it was the work of malicious criminals, unwilling to bring anything good to our town. Gathering all possible evidence, we concluded that our task was to find the culprits and prevent further attacks on our community. Thanks to our efforts and meticulous investigation, we were able to track down the criminals and arrest them before they could do any more harm.
Dobie, you remembered another captivating story as well, but I can already feel that we're close to our goal. The final battle with the boss, the evil doll, is just around the corner. But before that, I want to share one more of my stories. After a long and well-deserved break, when Dobie and I finally returned to work, I felt full of enthusiasm and ready for action. However, to our surprise, the first few hours on duty were completely calm. Not a single call came in, and I began to find it suspicious. Suspicions grew when I noticed that our antenna wasn't transmitting signals. Apparently, something had happened to the wires. We started checking and found that the wires had been chewed through. The culprit turned out to be an evil raccoon, who clearly didn't want us to receive calls and be able to help people. Realizing immediately that our communication was disrupted, I pressed the SOS button to alert the other sheriffs about the problem. We couldn't afford to leave our town unprotected due to unexpected technical issues. Soon after that, the calls started pouring in one after another. It was obvious that people needed our help, and there was no time to waste. Dobie and I immediately headed to the scenes to assist those in need.
Oh my God, while you were telling us your story, we've already started battling the evil doll. Let's give her a fight.
Did you see how that giant candy nearly hit us on the head? We need to not only aim at it, but also dodge its attacks.
She seems to really love sweets. How is she not stuck in another place? Oh, she's a doll.
Shoot more accurately, our shots are missing.
Let's go, let's go, let's go.
By the way, Dobie, have you ever thought about the harm of sweets?
Of course, Lab. Sweets can be delicious, but they can also be harmful, especially if consumed in excess.
Exactly. I've noticed that lately our residents have been consuming too many sweets. This can lead to health problems, especially for children.
Yes, and not just for children. We need to inform our citizens about the importance of balanced nutrition and limiting the consumption of sweets.
Agreed. Let's organize a campaign to educate people about the dangers of excessive sugar consumption. Together, we can make our city healthier and stronger.
Yes, we did it. Well done, Sheriff Labrador.
Hold on. Maybe we haven't won yet. I'm not quite sure what she's doing right now.
It seems like I understand what's about to happen, and I'm glad about it.
Oh my, what a ridiculous death. It must be quite embarrassing, especially considering she almost had us for dinner.
Absolutely! It's time to celebrate our victory for real now!
Sometimes even the cringiest dances feel like a victory lap, don't they?
I agree with you, but it's still good that other players don't see it.
It seems like we've reached the end of this place, which means it's time to wrap things up. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed watching us escape from this house today, please give us a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, don't forget to suggest other Roblox places for us to play. We're not saying goodbye. See you later. Hi guys, we're back in Roblox, and today we're playing the Escape from Minions Prison mode. Ready for an adventure?
Hi friends, yes, this is going to be fun. Imagine a prison full of minions. Who would have thought that these little yellow creatures could be so dangerous?
So our first step is to get out of the cell. Look, we need to crawl through the ventilation duct. Oh, it's like in prison escape movies.
Exactly. Go ahead, Labrador, you go first. You have more experience with this stuff. Aha!
All right, here we go. Oh, it's pretty tight. Hey, Dobie, remember the last time you got stuck in the vents?
Ha! Right. That was in the Escape from the Asylum mode. Hopefully, these vents are wider. And here's the first boss, a huge minion with a laser gun.
Wow, he's a serious guy. Okay, I have a plan. We need to jump on the platforms, dodge his shots, and attack him with our bazooka.
Wow, and I thought minions only love bananas. Okay, jump, shoot. Oh no, he's aiming at me.
Dobie, take care of yourself. Shoot at his legs to slow him down. Yes, like that. We've almost defeated him.
Hooray, the first boss is down. But listen, what's that sound? It looks like we have trouble ahead. Another boss, Mega Minion with a shield and hammer.
Right, he looks tough. We need to be smart. Let's try to trick him and hit his weak spots when he lifts the shield.
Good plan, attack! Oh, look, he's swinging his hammer like Thor. Ha! I hope he's not as accurate.
Come on, Dobie, dodge. He's vulnerable when he attacks. Shoot him. Yes, we did it. He's defeated.
Whew, that was intense. But we made it. Labrador, do you remember how we used to watch Despicable Me as kids? Minions were always funny, and now they're real bosses.
You watched Despicable Me? The Minions are the coolest characters ever.
These little yellow guys are always at the center of all the funny situations. Have you guys watched this movie?
Yeah, I think everyone has. So, let's tell them what's going on here. We're in the secret base of the Minions. To escape, we need to complete a tough parkour and defeat 2 minion bosses. Sounds like a real challenge.
Wow, there are so many rusty pipes and platforms, they don't look very sturdy. Labrador, be careful not to fall.
I'm trying. Oh, I always said minions are jack of all trades, but their work isn't always perfect. Aha! Here's the first challenge. We need to jump over these moving platforms.
They probably made this to slow us down. By the way, remember how in Despicable Me, the minions were always repairing and inventing things? Looks like they've been busy here too.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, look, up ahead is our first boss, a huge minion with a laser gun. This is going to be tough.
A huge minion? Maybe he just ate too many bananas? Haha. All right, let's focus. To defeat him, we need to dodge his shots and attack back.
Hey, Dobie, remember how we met the minions a week ago? That was unforgettable.
Oh yeah, how could I forget? Did you ever expect our ice cream trip to end up with meeting those yellow guys?
Not at all. We had just left the store when we saw one minion chasing another who was rolling a giant ice cream ball down the street. They're always so funny.
Haha, exactly. And remember how they invited us to help with their latest experiment? They messed up the instructions so much that we ended up exploding a bunch of popcorn in their lab.
Oh, it was a real popcorn rain. Good thing we managed to escape before Gru showed up. He wouldn't have been pleased.
Yeah, but the minions were thrilled. They even gave us a tour of their secret base. Remember how one of them tried to show us his new gadget, the banana blaster?
Oh yeah, and how the blaster, instead of shooting bananas, started spraying banana puree all over the place. We were in a sticky nightmare.
Uh-huh. Good thing we got cleaned up when they took us to the banana bath. I still can't believe they have a separate room just for washing bananas.
Minions and their quirks. But then they showed us their new project, a giant cleaning robot. That was something.
Yes, but the minions forgot to set it up properly, and it started chasing us with a giant mop. Good thing we managed to turn it off before it turned everything into chaos.
But the funniest part was when we decided to race on their little yellow cars. These cars look so cute, but driving them is a real challenge.
Haha, yeah, especially when they decided to turn on all the obstacles and traps. I still can't believe we made it through the Ring of Fire unscathed.
That was a real adventure. And finally, remember how they surprised us with a huge cake?
Oh yeah, except instead of cream, it had a whole kilogram of banana puree, but it was fun and delicious.
Dobie, remember how it all started? The Minions showed up at our office with rocket blueprints, promising that with their help, we could travel across the galaxy. When we were tasked with building a rocket for galactic exploration, we didn't expect this project to become one of the toughest challenges in our careers. This whole story began with the arrival of the Minions who offered their assistance. Who would have thought that these funny yellow creatures would turn out to be such tricksters?
Of course, Labrador. They seemed so friendly and enthusiastic. Their plans looked incredibly detailed, and we decided it was worth a try.
We started building the rocket at our police station. The Minions took on most of the work since they were real experts in mechanics and electronics. Everything went smoothly, and the rocket was ready for launch in record time.
The launch day arrived, and we all gathered at the launch pad. The Minions were so excited that we didn't suspect any deception. We launched the rocket and headed into space.
The first few days of the flight were amazing. We saw incredible planets and stars. But then, as we approached the first planet, the Minions suddenly changed course and locked us in a compartment.
We were shocked. It turned out the Minions planned to steal all the planets and resources to create their own empire. They deceived us to use our knowledge and resources for their purposes.
We had to come up with a plan quickly. We knew we had to stop them and regain control of the rocket. We began looking for weaknesses in the security system that could help us escape.
After several hours of intense work, we managed to hack the system and disable the locks. We broke out of the compartment and confronted the Minions in the control center.
It was an epic battle. The Minions used all their tricks and gadgets to stop us. But Dobie and I were stronger and smarter. We managed to take control of the rocket and set course back to Earth.
When we returned to Earth, we reported the Minions' betrayal and their plans to steal planets. The Minions were arrested and sent to prison for further investigation.
This experience taught us to be cautious and not trust everyone blindly. But most importantly, we were able to protect our world and our galaxy from danger once again.
Yes, Labrador, we did an important job. Now we know that even in need to stay vigilant, and who knows what other adventures await us in the future.
Dobie, remember how it all started? We were called to the city because the Minions were causing chaos everywhere. When Dobie and I were tasked with investigating the criminal activities of the Minions, we never expected that we would eventually meet their leader, Gru. Our goal was not only to stop the Minions, but also to try to understand what drives Gru to behave the way he does.
Of course, Labrador. They were stealing, creating havoc, and disturbing everyone's peace. We quickly realized that someone more cunning and smart was behind all this.
We began our investigation and soon discovered Gru, who was the king of all Minions. We were warned that he was very dangerous, but we decided to approach this case differently.
Yes, instead of arresting him right away, we decided to try talking to him. It was important to understand why he became like this, and if it was possible to reform him.
We went to his lair, and to our surprise, Gru wasn't all that bad. He was gruff, but in his eyes we could see weariness and disappointment.
It turned out that Gru was a genius who had simply lost faith in people due to past betrayals and disappointments. The Minions had become a kind of family for him, one he never had.
We started meeting with him more often, trying to show him that not all people are bad. We told him stories about our childhood, about how important it is to have real friends.
One day we invited him to a picnic. It was an ordinary day, but for Gru, it became something new and special. We played games, laughed, and just enjoyed the time together.
Gradually, Gru began to change. He became more open and kind. The Minions, seeing the change in their leader, also started behaving better.
Of course, it wasn't all smooth sailing. There were moments when Gru relapsed and became the old Gru again. But we didn't give up and continued to support him.
Eventually, Gru completely changed. He even started helping us with investigations and, along with the Minions, began protecting the city from criminals.
It was a long and difficult journey, but we managed to turn Gru from an evil genius into a kind and caring person. He became our friend and ally.
We proved that everyone deserves a second chance. And with friendship and support, even the most hardened villains can change.
Yes, Labrador. And now our city is safer and happier, thanks to our new friend Gru and his Minions.
After that tough parkour, we have to face the boss. Yeah, Labrador, especially with those yellow walls and giant bananas trying to knock us down. Who do you think came up with these traps? Must be some super brainy minion. They probably thought regular prisons were too boring.
Oh, it looks like this is the real boss. And we only have a bazooka to take him down. Labrador, are you ready?
Of course, I'm always ready for these adventures. Let's keep shooting at him before he turns us into banana salad.
Haha, banana salad. All right, Mega Minion Boss, take this.
Watch out for his attacks. He's throwing huge banana bombs.
Whoa, these bombs are definitely not from the store. Listen, we only have a few shots left. Aim carefully.
Absolutely. Hey, Dobie, remember the last time we tried to escape from Nanny Betty? I think that was even harder.
Oh, for sure. But that's a story for another time. All right, guys. See you next time in the world of Roblox.
Hi, guys. Today we're playing Roblox in the Escape the Prison Just for Girls mode. This is going to be epic. Don't forget to like and comment.
Yeah, guys, we need to eat this giant cake to find a spoon and dig a tunnel. I always knew sweets could save the world.
Wow, Dobie, I think I found the spoon. It's time to start digging the tunnel. I wonder why they hide spoons in cakes. Is this some kind of secret tradition?
Now we need to go through this crazy parkour with rusty pipes and nails. And there's lava below. What a challenge. Who came up with such extreme conditions? As if rusty pipes and nails weren't enough.
Exactly. Careful, this pipe is shaking. Hold on tight.
Whew, almost fell. These nails are so sharp, like they're specially sharpened. Apparently they're not expecting guests here.
Almost there, Dobie. Look, there's the exit from the parkour ahead. But be careful, just a few more jumps.
Escaping this prison in Roblox is really tough. I don't know if we can make it. It all depends on you, viewers. I wonder if we have more boys or girls on our channel. Everyone hit the like button. And in the next video, we'll show who there's more of.
Dobie, it looks like we're in trouble. The girl guard is already after us. We need to find a way to escape quickly.
Exactly, Labrador. I see some pipes. Let's climb on them and try to go through the ventilation.
Great idea, Dobie. The guard won't be able to catch us at these heights. I hope she doesn't know we're parkour masters.
Haha, yeah, she has no idea we can jump like cats. The ventilation is ahead. Ready?
Always ready. Let's climb up, Dobie. This is like a spy movie. We just need some laser traps.
It would be cool if someone added lasers, but we'll manage without them for now. Here's the exit from the ventilation. We're almost free.
Jump down, quick. We did it. We escaped from the guard.
Phew, what an adventure. Labrador, remember when we were called to that girls' party? That was fun, too.
Oh, right. The girls had a unicorn and rainbow cupcake party. And we were called because they thought someone stole their pink glitter.
Ha ha, yeah. It turned out the glitter was hidden by one of the girls' little sisters as a surprise. And we were searching for the thief all that time.
And don't forget when we accidentally fell into the ball pit. The girls laughed so hard and we looked like two giant balls ourselves.
Yeah, that was an unforgettable evening. It's good that we can not only catch criminals, but also entertain kids.
Dobie, you won't believe what happened last week.
Something serious?
Yes, very. A mother came to us desperate about her little girl named Lily. It turned out that Lily really wanted to summon a unicorn. She had heard many stories about magical creatures and was convinced they existed.
What did she do?
She turned to a local witch named Morgana. Everyone knows she's a powerful sorceress capable of real miracles, but her methods are often unsafe.
That already sounds alarming. Morgana was never known for her kindness.
Exactly. Lily approached her with the request to summon a unicorn. Instead of explaining that such things could be dangerous, Morgana agreed to help. She said she would fulfill her wish, but the result would be unexpected.
What happened?
Morgana performed the ritual, but instead of summoning a unicorn, she turned Lily into one. When the girl realized what had happened, it was too late. She found herself in the body of a unicorn, unable to speak or explain what had happened.
That's terrible. How did we find out about this?
Lily's mother came to us when the girl went missing. She told us about her suspicions and mentioned that Lily often talked about unicorns and magic. We immediately suspected something was wrong and went to Morgana.
How did we manage to save Lily?
When we arrived at the witch's house, we saw a unicorn locked in a pen. It looked scared and helpless. We demanded an explanation from Morgana. At first, she denied everything, but under pressure, she confessed to her spell.
How did we turn Lily back?
We forced Morgana to perform a reversal spell. It wasn't easy, but eventually she agreed, understanding that the consequences could be severe for her. With the spell, Lily returned to her human form. She was frightened, but safe and sound.
That's incredible. Good thing we made it in time. How is Lily now?
She's recovering. Her mother is taking care of her, and they are trying to forget about the terrible incident. We also warned everyone in the area about the dangers of dealing with Morgana.
Great job, Labrador. The important thing is that Lily is safe, but we should keep an eye on Morgana to ensure nothing like this happens again.
Guys, what do you know about gnomes? Do you believe in them?
Labrador, do you remember that strange call we got a week ago?
Of course, Dobie. It was one of the most unexpected cases we've encountered. We got a call from a girls' camp. They reported that gnomes had taken over their camp and seemed to be planning to make the girls their queens.
Yeah, I remember. When we arrived on the scene, the situation was really alarming. Gnomes, who are usually considered peaceful beings, were behaving quite aggressively. They had set up their flags and turned the camp into their temporary stronghold.
The gnomes started demanding that the girls acknowledge them as kings and become their queens. They acted as if it was a matter of honor for them. I don't know what could have prompted such behavior, but it was clearly something unusual.
Exactly. We saw that the girls were locked in their tents and the gnomes were guarding the camp. It seemed like they were trying to perform some sort of ritual to assert their right to the royal status.
It was really unsettling. We quickly devised a plan to free the girls. The first step was to determine how many gnomes were there and what their weak points were. We had to act carefully to avoid provoking them into aggression.
We split into groups. I and a few of our team approached the camp from one side to distract the gnomes. Meanwhile, another group used this opportunity to free the girls and lead them out of the camp.
The gnomes were surprisingly persistent, but we used cunning and strategy to outmaneuver them. One of our colleagues created a false noise on the other side of the camp, which gave us a chance to quickly and discreetly free the girls.
We found the girls in their tents. All were shaken but generally safe. We explained the situation to them and helped them leave the camp. Fortunately, we managed to do this before the gnomes noticed anyone was missing.
Once the girls were safe, we returned to the gnomes to find out what had happened. It turned out that the gnomes were under the influence of some magical amulet that made them act against their will. We managed to return the amulet to its place and restore order.
Yes. After the amulet was returned, the gnomes went back to their usual behavior and even apologized for their actions. We made sure everything was settled and there would be no further issues.
It's good we were able to help the girls and sort out the situation. It was truly a strange and unexpected case.
Absolutely. The important thing is that everyone is safe and the girls' camp is back to being a place for relaxation, not a captured fortress.
But that's not the last case involving you girls. We love and appreciate you very much. You're our princesses. But now, here's a very scary story about you.
Labrador, do you remember that not-so-ordinary week ago? We got a call saying that all the girls at the camp had turned into zombies.
Oh, how could I forget? It was a real nightmare. We thought it was just another prank or a false alarm. But when we arrived, we saw that it was much worse than we could have imagined.
Yes. When we got there, the camp looked like a scene from a horror movie. The girls, who had recently been full of energy and laughter, were now wandering around the camp like zombies, with empty eyes and slow movements. We realized it wasn't a prank.
We immediately noticed that something was wrong. None of our attempts to communicate with them worked. They didn't respond to our voices and couldn't explain what had happened to them. We had to figure out the cause and find a way to help.
We started investigating the camp. We observed the girls' behavior and looked for possible signs of infection or magical influence. It seemed that this was not a typical infection, but something supernatural.
Yes, and that's when we found strange things. It turned out there was an old spell book in the camp, left there by someone. The book was full of ancient and dark magical formulas. We suspected that someone might have used it for a ritual.
Exactly. We decided to trace the source of the magic. We discovered that the book had been found by one of the girls. She had accidentally opened it, and one of the spells apparently activated, turning everyone into zombies.
The next step was to find a way to reverse the spell. We contacted a local mage who specialized in such matters. He explained that we needed to perform a purification ritual to neutralize the spell's effect.
We organized the ritual at the camp. It was challenging, as the girls continued to wander around, but with the help of magical symbols and spells, we managed to create a protective circle and carry out the ritual. It was like battling a dark force that had consumed them.
And fortunately, the ritual worked. After we completed the process, the girls began to regain their senses. Their eyes returned to normal, and they returned to their usual state. It was an incredibly joyful and relieving moment.
Yes, we immediately noticed that the girls were in shock, but they received all the necessary help. We provided medical checks and psychological support to ensure there were no lingering effects.
And although that week was a real test, we managed to handle it. The camp became a safe place again, and the girls returned to their usual activities.
It was indeed a unique case, but fortunately, we were able to deal with it and restore everything to its proper state.
Remember when we were training with our iron swords? Recall how I accidentally hit you in the side when you tried to do a trick? That was a lot of fun.
Oh, don't remind me. At that moment, I thought my acrobatics dreams were over. But now, we need to use all our skills and wits to defeat this Iron Beauty.
Agreed. And don't forget, this robotic cop definitely doesn't like it when her swords get touched too often. Let's flank her and strike at the vulnerable spot.
Look what I've come up with. Let's do it in team attack style. One distracts, the other strikes. We'll be like a battalion during the holidays. Fast and efficient.
We did it. Guys, see you in the next mode. Remember, together we can handle any challenge. Hello, dear friends. It's me, Sheriff Labrador and Sheriff Dobie. Our parents sent us to Nanny Betty again, but they don't know that she's completely lost her mind. Betty, open the door. Oh no! We found ourselves in a creepy place once again. In the game, Escape from Betty's Scary Nursery, Part 2, in Roblox. It seems like Betty has no intention of letting us go easily. Today, we have to find and fix 3 electrical levers to start the generator and escape this grim place. Hit the like button if you're ready for this challenge, and comment who you think Betty will catch first. Me or Dobie?
Hi, friends. Today we'll have to work hard to get out of this abandoned kindergarten. According to the story, Betty locked everyone in because she thinks we stole her favorite toy, but in reality, she hid it herself and forgot. Now, she believes everyone is lying and trying to deceive her, so she set traps everywhere and stays close by, always trying to prevent us from escaping. We need to fix 3 levers to activate the main exit. The problem is that the wires are broken all over, and there are puddles of water throughout the kindergarten that conduct electricity.
Oh, these levers could be anywhere. In locked rooms, under broken stairs, or even in old vents. To fix them, we need to find wires and connect them, but it's not as easy as it sounds. Betty constantly roams the corridors, whispers her creepy songs, and tries to scare us. As soon as we start fixing the wires, she shows up, trying to disrupt our work and send us back to the cell.
And the most interesting part is that these levers can change places every time we reload the game. So we always need to be on guard and explore every corner of the kindergarten. Betty thought of everything. The traps are hidden behind old toys and shelves, and some doors only open after you fix the electricity. It's really scary here, especially when the lights turn on in dark rooms and you see the giant eyes of a doll watching you.
This kindergarten used to be an ordinary place. But after Betty took over, everything changed. She found old blueprints and wires and started fixing them in her own way. But instead of bringing back light and comfort, she created a true maze of fears. They say she got these blueprints from a strange man in an old suit who promised to return her favorite toy if she helped him with his dark plans.
On top of everything, there are traces of her past failed repair attempts. Broken robots, sparking wires, and toys that react to any movement. If you accidentally bump into something, you can trigger an alarm, and then Betty will definitely know where we are. And if she catches us, she'll send us right back to our cell, and we'll have to start all over again.
But guys, it's not all bad. There are useful things in the kindergarten too, like door codes, hints from former pupils that can appear on the walls as drawings or notes. And if you manage to do everything right, you can even open Betty's secret room and find what she guards so fiercely. Maybe that will help us finally escape.
Guys, keep your fingers crossed for us. Let's hope we can handle this madness and finally get out of Betty's kindergarten. Don't forget to hit the like button and comment what you think about this mode and which traps you find the hardest. We're off to find the levers and fix everything as quickly as possible. We're sure that with your support, we'll get through all of Betty's traps and prove that no scary kindergarten can frighten us. Onward to freedom.
Dobie, do you remember that strange call we got 2 weeks ago? Who would have thought that someone would call us to an abandoned kindergarten that had been empty and semi-ruined for years? When we drove up there, we immediately got an uneasy feeling. Everything seemed too quiet, and it felt like someone was watching us from the dark windows. And the strangest thing was that there was a chain on the gate, but the wicket was slightly open, as if they were expecting us.
Yeah, Labrador. I remember it like it was yesterday. As soon as we got closer, I felt that eerie chill down my spine. Not a soul around, just the wind rustling old toys on the playground. And inside, in the building, everything looked like it was frozen in time. Half-rotten toys, children's drawings on the walls, and that dusty silence that always fills places long forgotten. But even stranger was the sound coming from inside. Quiet, barely audible, like children's voices. We decided to go inside and check out what was happening, despite all the warnings. Who do you think left that call?
I've been wondering about that ever since, Dobie. Whoever that anonymous caller was, they clearly knew this place would pique our interest. We walked down the corridor, and with every step, the feeling that something was wrong only grew stronger. The walls were covered in strange marks that didn't look like children's drawings. And when we reached the main hall, we saw that old piano in the corner, and a strange doll sitting right on top of it. It looked too new, like someone had just placed it there. We started inspecting the room, and I found that old journal with the caretaker's notes. But the creepiest part was when you picked up the doll. It started playing a melody, and the doors slammed shut behind us.
Labrador, I'll remember that moment for a long time. As soon as the doll started playing the melody, chills ran down my fur. We tried to open the doors, but they seemed stuck to the frames. And from the corners, we started hearing those same children's whispers. We were trapped in that hall, and the sounds grew louder, turning into a real chorus. Then I noticed shadows starting to appear on the walls, like children standing around the perimeter of the room. I thought we'd fallen into some kind of trap, maybe spirits or something like that. But when we found that strange chest under the piano, I realized it might hold the key to everything happening.
Yeah, that chest looked completely out of place there. It was locked and had the same strange symbols as on the walls. It was as if it was all part of some old ritual or game that we were drawn into against our will. We tried to open it for a long time, but couldn't. Then I remembered an old legend told by local elders about something terrible happening in this kindergarten long ago. They spoke of a strange ceremony conducted here, and ever since, the place was cursed. Maybe that chest was what linked the kindergarten to those events.
And you immediately said it was the key to the mystery. We started looking for clues that could help us open the chest. And Labrador, remember how you found that old map under the floorboards? That was a true masterpiece of detective work. We realized that the map marked certain places in the kindergarten that would help us solve the mystery. We went through all those points, and each one revealed another piece of the puzzle. It was like a treasure hunt, but with a supernatural twist. In the end, we found the key, a small copper key hidden behind a painting in one of the corridors.
Opening the chest was an adventure in itself. But as soon as we opened it, everything in the kindergarten started to change. Those shadows on the walls began to fade. The doors swung open and the whispers stopped. Inside the chest was an old book with notes, possibly the diary of one of the caretakers. It described strange events that took place in the kindergarten long before it was closed. It turned out the caretakers were indeed performing some rituals, trying to protect the children from an unknown threat. But something went wrong. It seems like we lifted the curse, freeing the place from dark energy.
Yeah, it felt like we freed the kindergarten from something sinister that had been clinging to it all these years. After we closed the chest and put it back, everything began to return to normal. But you know, Labrador, I can't shake the feeling that someone deliberately left those clues for us and called us there so we could finish what had been started long ago. Maybe it was the spirit of one of the caretakers or one of the children who just wanted peace. But one thing I know for sure, we did the right thing, and now this place can truly be called free.
We finally found all the light generators and turned on the electricity in this creepy kindergarten of Betty. Now, we just need to connect the last 2 electric barrels to power the main doors and finally escape. But as soon as we started running away, Betty got electrocuted, and now she's become super strong Nanny Betty. She's chasing us down the corridors, and we have to navigate through a ton of obstacles to get out of here. Like the video if you're rooting for us, and leave your tips in the comments. We can't do it without you.
What a twist! We thought it was almost over, but Betty found another way to make things harder for us. After she got shocked, she became even stronger and faster. Now she's unstoppable, breaking down walls and jumping over obstacles like a superhero, but a very angry and scary one. And we've got no time to rest. We're racing through the corridors, jumping over scattered toys, and crawling under broken ladders, and Betty is getting closer and closer.
Exactly. As soon as the electricity came on, it seemed like everything was almost settled. But Betty doesn't give up that easily. She's catching up, throwing toys at us that she's using as weapons. And it seems like she's getting stronger with each encounter. These corridors are insane. Trap doors open underfoot, floors rise and fall, and creepy dolls pop out of the walls trying to slow us down.
And here, guys, the main thing is, don't stop. Run, Labrador, run, run, run. Run, Labrador.
Oh no! Betty caught us. It's very sad, friends. Now we'll have to live in her kindergarten, but we'll definitely escape from here. According to the legend, Betty was an ordinary nanny until she found this strange amulet. At first, it gave her powers, but over time, it started changing her. Now, after being electrocuted, she's completely out of control. It seems the amulet absorbed the electricity, making her even stronger and more dangerous. See you again.
Hello, everybody. This is Dobie, but I'm not alone.
I'm here too. Hello, everyone. Today we're going to escape from the running head.
But it's not that simple because we have a lot of difficult challenges ahead.
Yeah, that's right, Dobie. But since we're sheriffs, no challenges can scare us.
Look, we've encountered the first running head, but it's very slow, so we can ignore it.
But we shouldn't lose our vigilance because there are probably a lot of traps here.
This maze is very simple. There's not even a ceiling, so we can peek to see how to get to the end.
Great, they won't catch us behind this barrier.
I want to see how smart they are.
That was a bit risky, but I also love taking risks. It's a big part of our job, after all.
Yes, but the key is to always think through your actions in advance and have a backup plan in case things go wrong.
Listen, they're getting really close to us. We need to watch our tails.
They walk so weirdly, and now they're stuck together. It looks like they're kissing.
I agree. I can't even imagine how they walk without legs.
Look, there's this gigantic one blocking our path to the finish. Let's find a way around it.
Oh, I see. It looks like it was a test of attention. We went through similar tests when we became sheriffs.
There are 3 heads in a narrow passage here. We'll need to use some parkour skills.
Oh no, they're kissing again? Let's turn away so they don't distract us. Maybe they're doing it on purpose to make us stumble.
Oh, he looks like that giant one, but luckily he's very slow and not very bright. We can easily outsmart him.
I think we're nearing the end of the first stage. Most likely, it's just beyond... Oh, there was a little trap here. That's exactly what happens when you lose focus. But since we're not on a mission, it's not a big deal. Always play for fun, guys.
Well, you were right. This stairs led to the portal to the next stage.
We continue. It seems we've entered some wooden house. There are 2 doors here. Let's go left.
Oh, he's standing with his back to us. Although it doesn't have a back, so I guess it's facing away with its nape.
Here we need to slip through very quickly because he's distracted by another hole in the wall.
Listen, I don't even know. Oh, I meant to say that I don't know where we need to go. Why did he stand unpredictably around the corner?
I think it's deliberately done by the author to scare us. As for where we're going, I'm not sure myself. Since the monitor can't emit smells, we can't find the exit using our dog instincts, so we're going blindly. But the main thing is not to turn around to avoid going back to the starting point.
Great! We've reached the checkpoint, which means we're halfway through the maze. Usually, checkpoints aren't placed just for fun, so there might be danger ahead of us.
Oops! Let's quickly crawl into the gap before this head regains consciousness.
Another checkpoint. Great! Seems like it's a new element of the challenge. We need to veer off the path in time before this head catches us right in its mouth.
Oh my god, we got a bit distracted and missed the turn. Well, no big deal. We understood the gist, and we'll quickly get back to the same spot.
Remember, Lab, how we spent nights playing horror games as kids?
Of course. Those evenings with popcorn and an old computer. We cursed that eerie monastery 100 times.
I wonder how that has influenced our work now.
I think it taught us not to panic in dark corners. Remember when we first encountered that strange case in the abandoned mine?
Yeah, all those sounds and rustling. It felt like something out of an old game back then, too.
But thanks to our childhood fascination, we remained composed and figured out the situation. No mystique, just work.
And strangely enough, it still saves us to this day. I'm glad we spent those evenings in forgotten horrors together.
Me too, Dobie. In our world, every day can be like a horror movie, but we're always ready for it.
So, here we are at the third stage of this place. Continuing on. It seems like another maze.
I hope this one will be more interesting and challenging, because the first one was boring, but I understand. It was just preparing us.
On this level, a lot of new mobs have been added. They even scare me a little. Brr, it's creepy.
I agree, but we shouldn't let fear take over, because it's deliberately designed to scare us and prevent us from completing this level. So, let's gather our strength and move forward, ignoring the obstacles.
By the way, speaking of strange creatures, Labrador, do you remember how we saved the town from mutant snakes? Let's tell that story. The day started like any other, but everything changed when reports came in about strange incidents in the town. People were talking about snakes that had once been harmless, but had now evolved, growing arms and legs. They began attacking people and taking over the streets. Labrador and I immediately headed to the scene.
Later, it turned out that all of this was orchestrated by an evil scientist from a neighboring town. He had made a bet with other scientists that he could take over our town and receive a reward from the government for it. When we arrived in the town, we saw real chaos. The mutant snakes were armed and organized, attacking the residents. Our first priority was to rescue people and restore order. We needed to act quickly and develop a plan.
We gathered a team of brave assistants and began a counterattack. Our efforts were focused on ensuring the safety of the people and identifying weaknesses in the snake's defenses.
Hold on a second, Dobie. We need to pause the story for a bit. We've just completed another stage. Good job!
So, where did I leave off? During one of our operations, we managed to capture one of their leaders, a huge snake with a head in command. He revealed that they planned to take over the town and make it their new home.
With our knowledge and resourcefulness, we devised a plan to stop these mutants. We used special tactics to weaken their defenses and reduce their numbers. The battle was fierce, but thanks to our endurance and friendship, we emerged victorious.
It seems like we're in a more modern house compared to the second stage. Here, it looks like Stone Age heads live, given the stone walls around us.
Oops, we've accidentally reached the starting point again, but no worries. Let's go back and turn in the other direction now.
Oh, these challenges are still very simple. It seems like this place is designed for children rather than sheriffs.
I'm also a bit disappointed by that, but I'm optimistic that a very challenging trial will come soon.
Ouch. That was unfair from the developer. I would have made that jump because I have very good reflexes. Oh well, let's forget about it.
Dobie, what do you think about these heads? Where do you think they came from?
To be honest, I don't even know which universe or game they're from, but I do know for sure that they're very popular on the internet, and they're quite creepy. Perhaps that's why they're popular. Their distinctive feature of having a face painted with white makeup and poorly applied lipstick.
Did you see that head around the corner? We almost ran into it. Once again, good reflexes saved us.
Oh, again! What are they doing there? Maybe they were also trying to jump over something and got stuck there forever?
That's a good theory. Well, we've completed another stage. Let's move on.
I hope it will be more interesting there.
All right, we've spawned in a new location. It seems to be a maze, but not a simple one. A transparent maze. What the heck?
Don't get disappointed so early, Sheriff Labrador. For some reason, you can't see through glass to other glass. I must have forgotten my school physics. But will we also be hindered by women's heads?
I thought those heads reproduced by budding, but it turns out the women were just on another level. Now it makes sense.
These women are prettier than those heads, but they still look ugly.
Oh no, we're stuck. Listen, this glass is really confusing. It seems to create very strange visual effects. Normally, such effects are caused by glasses.
Let's lighten the mood by remembering the funny story about how we rescued a school kid who was fooling around with a fire extinguisher and got stuck in a tree. Recently, Labrador and I had a special day, a tour for school children. We arrived at the school with a fire truck, an ambulance, and a police car to show the kids how our service works. The children were thrilled, especially when they were allowed to climb into the vehicles and try out being rescuers.
Everything was going smoothly until we noticed one of the students, a little rascal named Tim, quietly sneaking over to the fire truck and stealing a fire extinguisher. We thought he just wanted to play, but suddenly we heard screams. It turned out that Tim had activated the fire extinguisher and ended up in a tree, covered in foam.
I sense something's off here. We need to check carefully. The situation was critical. Tim was hanging from a branch, tightly gripping the fire extinguisher, and looked terrified. I immediately ran to the tree while Labrador coordinated the children to keep them away.
While Dobie climbed the tree, I calmed the children and explained that Tim would be safe. Thanks to his agility, Dobie quickly reached Tim. He spoke to him in a calm voice, convincing the boy to let go of the fire extinguisher and hold onto the branch.
This is a very strange challenge. Some heads are falling, while others aren't. When I reached Tim, he was on the verge of tears. I gently took his hand and helped him down. Tim was okay, but shaken. We talked to him about the importance of being careful and listening to adults.
Great, we've completed another stage. Moving on to the 6th one. I wonder how many there are in total. After that incident, we continued the tour, but with new safety rules. The children understood that safety is not a game. At the end of the day, everyone thanked us for the exciting lesson and promised to be more careful.
This day showed us that even the most ordinary events can unexpectedly turn into extreme situations. The main thing is that we are always ready to help and protect those who need it.
Hi guys, turns out we're only halfway through this place. Later on, it's gonna get really tough, which we're really happy about. Well, it's time for us to say goodbye. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
Write in the comments if you want to see the second part. See you later.
Hey guys, today Dobie and I are back in action and ready for new challenges. We've just logged into Roblox and found ourselves in the scariest mode. Escape Granny's prison. Dobie, are you ready for this terrifying adventure?
Hey there, friends. Oh, Labrador. To be honest, I'm not sure if I'm ready, but we have no choice. This mode is no joke. The prison where Granny holds us is far from ordinary. There are traps at every turn, and one wrong move could catch Granny's attention. And she certainly won't miss the chance to grab us.
Yep, you heard that right, guys. This prison is entirely under the control of that old lady. It all started when Granny lured us into her house, as always, promising tea and cookies. But as soon as we crossed the threshold, the door slammed shut, and we found ourselves in her prison. The goal is simple: escape from this ominous trap, but doing so won't be easy. We'll have to sneak through dark corridors, solve puzzles, and most importantly, avoid Granny's watchful eyes.
And that's not all. Every room has traps waiting for us. Floors that could collapse, old wooden shelves that could crash down on your head. But the creepiest part is Granny herself. She hears everything. Every rustle, every sound. If something falls, or you accidentally bump into something, she's there in an instant.
But the surprises don't end there. At certain points in the game, we need to find keys to locked doors, codes for safes, and levers that activate hidden passages. All of this has to be done quickly and carefully before Granny hears us and catches us. Perhaps the hardest part is navigating the parkour in the basement. It's dark and damp down there, and the floor could give way at any moment.
Labrador, how about that moment when we sneaked into her basement and stumbled upon her huge collection of mousetraps? That was something. And then, just when we thought we'd escaped, it turned out she was waiting for us at the exit. Whew, this Granny doesn't let you relax for a second.
Absolutely, Dobie, but we're not the type of sheriffs to give up easily. We need to muster all our courage to get through this nightmare and break free. Guys, if you think you can handle Granny better than we can, be sure to try this mode.
While Labrador and I gear up for our escape, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button if you enjoyed our video. Your support and comments help us keep taking on any challenge.
Ring that bell so you don't miss new videos and tell your friends about us. Who knows, next time we might face even scarier adventures.
See you soon, friends. We're heading into the heart of Granny's prison, and we hope luck is on our side. Good luck to all, and remember, sheriffs are always on duty.
It all started on an ordinary evening when Dobie and I were patrolling our quiet town. People were used to us always being on guard, and usually nothing serious happened. But that evening, we received a strange call. The voice on the line was quiet and trembling, as if the caller was scared to death. They said that somewhere in the woods on the outskirts of town, there was an old house, and something terrible was happening there. We couldn't ignore such a call.
We knew that there was indeed an abandoned house in that area, which had been standing there for many years. The locals avoided it, as there were many eerie stories associated with it. Some said an old witch lived there. Others claimed the house was cursed. But Labrador and I didn't believe in such tales. However, This call made us think twice. We decided to check it out for ourselves.
When we arrived, we saw the house. It looked like it was about to collapse. Old, cracked walls, windows boarded up, and a sagging roof. Everything around was covered in a thick fog, which seemed to shroud the house in a dark mystery. We exchanged glances, and I noticed that even Dobie, usually calm, looked wary.
As we entered the house, a cold breeze ran down our spines. It was dark inside. The air smelled of dampness and mold. We turned on our flashlights and began to look around. The floors creaked under our paws, and every movement seemed too loud. We were sure no one was there, but the strange feeling that someone else was present didn't leave us.
After searching a few rooms, we stumbled upon an old kitchen. On the table were cups of freshly brewed tea, as if someone had just been sitting there. Suddenly, we heard footsteps behind us. Turning around, we saw a shadow sliding down the corridor. Without a word, we gave chase, but instead of catching someone, we found ourselves at a dead end. At that moment, the door behind us slammed shut with a loud bang. We were trapped.
Suddenly, we heard a creepy, creaky voice coming from the depths of the house. "Ah, what nice guests have come to visit me. Have you come to play with Grandma?" The voice belonged to none other than Granny herself. She had locked us in her house, and now we realized that getting out wouldn't be easy.
We knew we had to act quickly. The whole situation was starting to feel like the worst nightmare. Granny moved around the house incredibly fast, despite her age. She knew every corner of this place, every creaky board, and every trap set in our path. We had to stay unnoticed and avoid drawing her attention.
We began searching for a way out. Granny's house was full of surprises, hidden doors, secret passages, and numerous traps. In one of the corridors, we found an old rusty key that might come in handy. But while we were trying to figure out which door it opened, Granny appeared on the horizon again. We barely managed to hide in a closet, our hearts pounding in our chests. She passed by without noticing us, but we knew we didn't have much time left.
In the basement, we discovered a machine that was clearly used for something sinister. But most importantly, there was a hatch leading outside. This was our chance at salvation. We opened it with the key and found ourselves in an underground tunnel. But as soon as we took the first step, the hatch slammed shut behind us. We knew there was no turning back.
We ran through the tunnel, hearing Granny pursuing us. The tunnel was long and winding, and each step was a struggle. But just when we thought all was lost, we saw light ahead. We rushed towards it with all our might and finally emerged to the surface.
Once outside, we looked back and saw that Granny's house appeared abandoned and quiet again. It seemed like it had all been just a nightmare, but we knew it was real. We had escaped, but we would never forget the horror we experienced in that house.
From that day on, we decided to stay far away from the old house on the outskirts of town. But we're always ready to return if someone else falls into Granny's trap. After all, sheriffs never leave anyone behind, even if it means facing the worst nightmares.
It all began when strange things started happening in our small town. The townspeople reported hearing eerie sounds at night, sounds resembling the growls of animals and the clinking of chains. No one could pinpoint where they were coming from or why they were only heard after dark. Some claimed to have seen flickering lights in the distance near an abandoned farm outside of town. But by morning, everything would be quiet again, as if nothing had happened.
Labrador and I were intrigued by the reports. We knew our townsfolk had a tendency to exaggerate, but we decided to investigate the rumors. We started by researching the history of that farm. It turned out that it used to be the site of a traveling circus, long before Labrador and I came to the town. The circus was owned by a man named Victor Grimm, who was famous for his unusual shows featuring exotic animals. But one day, for unclear reasons, the circus shut down. Rumor had it that something terrible happened, and the farm had been abandoned ever since.
We decided to visit the farm at night since that was when the strange occurrences reportedly happened. Under the cover of darkness, we snuck onto the farm's grounds. The area was overgrown, and the wooden structures were rotting and falling apart. However, as we got closer, we saw dark silhouettes in the distance. These were the remnants of large tents and cages that once held the circus animals.
But the strangest part began when we heard them. The sounds coming from those cages were terrifying. It felt as though the animals that shouldn't have been there anymore were still inside. We cautiously approached one of the cages. and by the light of our flashlights, we saw the silhouette of a massive tiger. But this tiger was not quite normal. Its eyes glowed with a menacing red light, and heavy mist billowed from its mouth, as if it had been reanimated by some dark spell.
Dobie and I couldn't believe our eyes. We knew something was terribly wrong, that we were facing something born of dark magic or a curse. Around us, other noises began to echo. The thunderous stomping of elephants, the pitiful whining of monkeys, and even the horrifying roar of a lion. None of this could be real, but the sensations were so intense that fear gripped us.
We decided that we needed to find out who or what had reanimated these ghostly beasts. As we circled the farm, we stumbled upon an old circus tent. Inside was a large arena, covered in dust and cobwebs. In the center of the arena, we saw something strange. An old circus mirror, surrounded by ritualistic symbols. It seemed to be the source of all this magic. Suddenly, the mirror glowed, and a shadowy figure appeared before us. It was Victor Grimm.
Victor had also vanished, freed from his curse. We stood in the middle of the empty arena, feeling the weight of the magic lifting from the place. The circus was abandoned once more, but this time, it was for good. Goodbye, guys. Hello, friends. It's Sheriff Labrador here again, along with my trusty partner, Sheriff Dobie. Today, we've landed in Roblox in the Escape Sonic's prison mode. But it's not that simple. This time, Sonic himself has turned into a villain and locked us up in his prison. To escape, we'll have to get through tons of traps, avoid robots, and solve puzzles. Give us a like if you're ready for this crazy adventure, and don't forget to comment on who you think will escape first, me or Dobie. So, Dobie, are you ready?
Hey, everyone! What a twist! Sonic was a good guy, but it seems something went wrong. And now, he's the head jailer. According to the story, Sonic became obsessed with speed and decided that everyone slower than him should be locked up. He's put us in his super speed prison, filled with moving platforms, lasers, and turbo loops. To escape, we need to find 3 keys and go through portals, but they're hidden in the most unexpected places. And of course, Sonic is constantly trying to catch us and send us back to our cell.
Plus, there are springs and boosters all over the place that can help us, but can also hurt us if we use them wrong. Each key is hidden in a different zone, and to reach them, we'll need to dodge traps, like laser turrets that shoot at us if we stay in one spot for too long. Sonic has thought of everything. His robot helpers patrol the corridors, and if they spot us, they immediately raise the alarm. We have to be not only fast, but also clever.
The hardest part is the zones with Sonic's rings. You need these rings to activate doors and elevators, but you have to collect them quickly because they disappear after a few seconds. And you have to watch out for fake rings that explode if you pick them up. Sonic's prison is so twisted that even the walls move. To make things even harder, sometimes alarms go off, and then you need to run, or else you'll end up back in your cell.
The story of this prison is interesting too. When Sonic built it, he wanted to create the perfect place for speed training, but something went wrong. His thirst for speed turned into a real obsession, and he decided that all slowpokes deserve to be locked up. They say that one of Sonic's old enemies is behind all this and has found a way to influence his mind, making Sonic think he's protecting the world by locking us all up in his prison.
To escape, we'll need to activate the super speed tracks and use the boosters correctly to outsmart Sonic. We also have to be ready for surprises, like fake doors and traps that suddenly pop up in our way. And at the end, we'll face a big race against Sonic himself, where he'll try to stop us. If we lose, we'll be sent back to the cell, but if we win, we'll finally escape and maybe even help Sonic come back to his senses.
So guys, support us with likes and leave your tips in the comments on how to escape this prison. Your advice will surely help us dodge traps and beat Sonic. We're confident that with your support, we can overcome this challenge. So Dobie, ready for some speed?
Of course, Labrador. Friends, hold on tight because there's going to be a lot of speed, traps, and unexpected twists. Onward to freedom and new adventures. Wish us luck.
Dobie, I still can't believe what happened to us last week. That scientist, Dr. Sparks, he's never really been someone you can trust. We've crossed paths with him on different missions before, and every time it ended in some kind of mess. But who would have thought that his latest invention, that energy beam he claimed would improve the lives of dogs everywhere, would actually give us Sonic's abilities. When he turned that thing on and aimed it at us, I felt like everything inside was boiling with energy. And then, bam, we became super fast. Do you remember your first impressions?
Oh, Labrador, how could I forget? At first, I thought it was just another one of Spark's tricks, like testing his new gadget on us. But when I realized I could run so fast that the whole world around me became a blur, it was mind-blowing. I've never felt anything like it. Remember when we decided to test our new abilities and race through the city? We literally zipped past everyone so fast that people just stood there staring at us like we were crazy. And how about when you managed to run on water? That was incredible. Normally, we can't even swim.
Yeah, running on water. That was unreal. I didn't even think I could pull it off. The water felt solid, like ice, and every step was so light. And that moment when I ran up the side of a skyscraper, that was awesome too. Although, to be honest, I was a little scared. I'd never been that high before. But you know what really surprised me? That our new abilities weren't just about speed. I gained super strength and could move heavy objects like they were as light as a feather. And remember when we cleared those debris piles after the bridge collapsed? It sped up our work incredibly.
Exactly, Labrador. I still can't believe it's real. We were clearing the debris so fast that people couldn't even blink. And the best part, we were able to help all those who were trapped under the rubble. We became real heroes of the day. But, you know, I've always been struck by the idea that with great power comes great responsibility. These abilities gave us huge opportunities, but the risks also increased. I kept thinking about how not to harm anyone, especially when our powers became uncontrollable. Remember when we accidentally caused a mini hurricane at the market just by running too fast? It shows that superpowers are not just fun, but also dangerous.
You're right, Dobie. We managed to turn this gift into a real benefit for everyone, and that's the most valuable thing. And although our super abilities were temporary, this experience will stay with us forever. We learned that it's not about power or speed, but how you use them for good. We started to understand each other better and work as a real team. And now we know that anything incredible can happen at any moment, and we always have to be ready for new challenges.
Absolutely, Labrador! We've proven to ourselves and to the whole city that even with these abilities, we can stay true to our mission. I'm proud that we handled all of this and used our powers the right way. Now that our sonic abilities have faded, we can confidently say that we're still the same sheriffs, ready to help and protect. So, onward, Labrador, to new adventures!
Dobie, let me tell you, I can't remember a crazier day in my whole career. When that sudden wave of robberies hit the city, I immediately knew something was off. There's no way an ordinary gang could clean out all the banks, stores, and jewelry shops in one day without anyone even noticing. But when we saw the surveillance footage showing the robbers moving at incredible speed, everything became clear. It's just madness. They're zipping around the city like Sonics, and no one can catch them. You know, Dobie, my first thought was that this had to be the work of that evil scientist, Dr. Sparks. He's always trying to invent something that ends up being a problem for everyone. And now, it looks like he's created a device that turns people into super fast thieves.
Exactly, Labrador. At first, I couldn't believe my eyes. We were standing in the square when those guys sped past us so fast that I didn't even see their faces. It's just unimaginable how Sparks could create such technology. When I realized these guys had become real super speed criminals, I immediately suspected we were dealing with something much more serious than just a string of robberies. If that thing ends up in the hands of someone else, the whole city could be in real danger. But the biggest question is, how do we stop them? They're faster than the wind. And I agree with you, Labrador. Sparks has to be nearby, because someone's definitely controlling these robbers.
You're absolutely right, Dobie. We needed to figure out how Sparks was controlling these speedsters and what kind of device they were using. We saw in the footage that each of the robbers had a strange bracelet on their wrist, and that bracelet was likely the device giving them speed. We quickly realized that if we could remove or disable those bracelets, the robbers would just turn back into regular people. But how do we do that when they're way faster than us? We had to come up with a plan. Remember how we decided to lure them into a trap using bait?
Oh, I remember. We set up that accidental truck crash with the money on the main street. The whole load spilled right onto the road, and it was sure to catch the robbers' attention. They couldn't resist the chance to snatch a big score, and that was our chance. Remember how we hid in ambush watching them? There were 3 of them, and they totally fell for the bait. But even when they started grabbing the money, they did it so fast that we had no chance to just attack them outright. Good thing we had a plan B. Setting up a special magnetic barrier to knock the bracelets off them. I couldn't believe it would actually work.
When we activated the barrier, it was like watching everything in slow motion. The bracelets literally flew off their wrists and straight to us. And at that moment, the robbers, losing their super speed, just froze in place like they were rooted to the ground. They probably didn't even realize what had happened. But you know what surprised me the most? How quickly we were able to subdue them once they lost their super speed. Without their bracelets, they were completely helpless and not prepared for a regular fight. And when we put regular handcuffs on them, I felt like we had taken back control of the situation. But that was just the first step. The real mastermind behind all this chaos was Dr. Sparks. We needed to find him and disable the device so no one else could use his invention.
Exactly, Labrador. We immediately started looking for Sparks. And remember how we got leads from some of our old contacts? One of them, that hacker named Skittles, helped us trace the signals from the bracelets straight to Sparks' hideout. It turned out he was hiding in an old warehouse on the outskirts of the city, where he was conducting his experiments. And when we burst in, he was getting ready to make a new batch of bracelets for his future recruits. But that's when we didn't hesitate. While Sparks was trying to intimidate us with his inventions, we already knew what to do. You cleverly disabled the device, and I restrained Sparks right there. You should have seen his face when he realized his plans had failed. Thank you all, and see you next time.